Today, we're cutting straight through all that loud, confusing marketing noise to deliver a masterclass on the actual proven science behind sports nutrition. If you've ever felt totally overwhelmed staring at a wall of tubs in the supplement aisle, well, you're definitely in the right place. So, I want to start us off with a bit of a provocative question to really challenge how you currently approach fueling your body. Ask yourself, is your current supplement routine backed by actual science, or is it just clever marketing hype? It's a tough question, I know, but it's absolutely one we need to ask. Because today, we are stripping away the flashy labels. We're looking strictly at the clinical evidence to build a practical, no-nonsense playbook for your everyday training. No magic pills, no exaggerated claims, just the raw data on what is actually working inside your cells. All right, let's take a quick look at today's roadmap. We've got 6 chapters: unlocking your physical potential, power, creatine and caffeine, endurance, beta-alanine and HMB, the leucine muscle switch, nutrient timing tactics, and finally, an evidence-based outro.
Chapter 1: Power, Creatine, and Caffeine. Let's jump right in and explore 2 of the absolute most researched compounds in the world for unlocking explosive strength.
Let's define this word for word first. Adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, is the primary carrier of energy in cells, critical for brief, intense muscle contractions. Put simply, it's your body's rocket fuel. When you sprint or lift heavy, your body burns through its ATP in literally seconds. That's where creatine comes in. Creatine monohydrate supplementation maximizes the creatine stored in your muscles, which then rapidly resynthesizes that ATP, giving you that explosive strength right when you need it most. Now, what about caffeine? Well, let's trace the biological steps of how it acts on your brain's receptors to drive power output. First, caffeine enters your bloodstream. Then, it crosses over and binds to adenosine receptors in your brain. This literally alters your sensations of fatigue and perceived exertion. It essentially tricks your brain into making that heavy weight feel just a little bit lighter, which can actually boost your 1-rep max strengths by about 3 to 4%. So, how much do you actually need? The crucial point here is that the optimal dose of caffeine for enhancing strength is highly individual, but it generally falls right within this specific range, 2 to 6 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. You don't necessarily need those massive doses that leave you all jittery. It's really just about finding your personal sweet spot to get that neuromuscular edge. But here's a curveball for you. Your genetics matter too. Fast metabolizers, folks with the AA genotype, usually see their caffeine levels peak around 60 minutes pre-workout. But slow metabolizers carrying the C allele, they might actually see zero benefit from that standard 60-minute advice. They might need to ingest it 90 to 120 minutes earlier. It's just a perfect example of why you absolutely have to personalize your protocol. Chapter 2: Endurance, Beta-alanine, and HMB. Let's shift gears and look at how we buffer fatigue and protect your hard-earned muscle tissue when those workouts get really grueling. We'll start with a condition called sarcopenia. To define it, sarcopenia is the age-associated loss of skeletal muscle mass, strength, and function. Now, HMB is a remarkable leucine metabolite that directly suppresses muscle breakdown. This makes it incredibly effective for aging adults who are actively combating sarcopenia, or even for athletes trying to manage severe muscle damage during high-volume training blocks. Think of it basically as an insurance policy for your muscle tissue. Now, for buffering fatigue during those burning, high-intensity intervals, we turn to beta-alanine. But listen, you need a chronic loading dose of 4 to 6 grams of this stuff daily. And here's a quick pro tip. Make sure you divide this into smaller doses throughout the day. If you take it all at once, you're going to get this harmless, but definitely annoying, tingling sensation under your skin called paresthesia. Let's look at how this builds in your system over time. Once it's loaded into the muscle over a minimum of 4 weeks, beta-alanine acts as a powerful intracellular pH buffer. When you're in the middle of a brutal 1 to 4 minute burst, like a tough rowing interval or a high-rep set of squats, lactic acid builds up fast and tries to shut your muscles down. The elevated carnosine from beta-alanine buffers that acid, keeping you pushing hard when you'd normally just have to stop. Chapter 3: The leucine muscle switch. Let's uncover the specific biological switch required to actually build muscle tissue. This is where protein science gets really fascinating. Let's read the definition word for word. The leucine threshold is the specific per meal dose of the amino acid leucine required to fully activate muscle protein synthesis. So, think of leucine exactly like a light switch. You must hit this specific threshold, which is around 2.5 grams, in a single meal to actually turn on muscle building. If you stay below it, the response is muted, no matter how full you might feel after eating. And notice how age completely changes the rules here. Because older adults develop what's known as anabolic resistance, they require a significantly larger protein spike to hit that same leucine threshold. So while adults under 65 need about 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal to flip the switch, adults over 65 need to push that number up to 35 to 40 grams. Translating this science directly to your plate, here are the exact food equivalents you need to consume in a single sitting to successfully hit that leucine switch. One palm-sized chicken breast gets you 2.4 grams. A regular can of tuna? That's 2.5. A cup of cottage cheese with 2 eggs delivers 3 full grams of leucine. A bowl of Greek yogurt with a scoop of whey knocks it out of the park with 3.5 grams. It really takes the guesswork completely out of your meal prep. Chapter 4, Nutrient Timing Tactics. We really need to examine the tactical timing of these nutrients to ensure you're recovering as efficiently as possible. Because, as it turns out, when you eat can absolutely support what you eat. The main takeaway here is that spreading your protein across multiple meals throughout the day is vastly superior to stacking it all into one massive dinner. Every single time you hit that leucine threshold, you're creating a distinct muscle protein synthesis session. Skipping a meal literally means skipping a session for growth and repair. 3 to 4 evenly spaced, high-protein meals is the biological ideal we're shooting for. Also, while your muscles do remain sensitized to protein for full 24 hours after lifting, meaning that old panic about the anabolic window isn't quite as tight as we once thought, timing still matters a lot for your energy. Combining carbohydrates with protein shortly after a workout supercharges the replenishment of your depleted glycogen stores. If you've got another training session the next day, this rapid early recovery is absolutely vital. And that brings us to Chapter 5, an evidence-based outro. Let's bring all this clinical data together into a cohesive, actionable philosophy you can take to the gym. I love this quote from the International Society of Sports Nutrition because it perfectly reminds us of the big picture. The overarching purpose of any nutritional strategy is to enhance the adaptation response to acute and/or chronic exercise. Basically, supplements are never magic pills. You simply can't out-supplement poor training or a bad diet. They are precise, scientifically validated tools designed to amplify your hard work and enhance your body's response to the stress of exercise. So, armed with the precise mechanisms of how to structure your nutrition, from unlocking the power of creatine and caffeine to buffering with beta-alanine and flipping that leucine switch right on your plate, I'm going to leave you with a final challenge. Now that you have the science, how will you fuel your physical potential in your next workout? Take these concepts, apply them to your routine, and watch your performance soar.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another science-backed fitness video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.